So let's go, guys. Just gonna start there. So I'm starting off by watching the lower time frames on Bitcoin here. So from last week we did have this initial push up towards the upside that I did suspect. We talked about this last week. So we did not come up all the way towards all-time highs, as we had. That was like 73.9, and we are currently sort of consolidating in a downtrend on the lower time frames. I am not bearish, not at all. I was looking at this for like a potential ABC correction. I was looking at since the beginning of the week. This is very common stuff. We did have a range that we formed over last week. Had a clear breakout towards upside with strong momentum. We did slow down at the top, sort of consolidated a bit before we actually started pulling back. So we are sort of in this downtrending channel right now. I would like to confirm this sort of C leg for a C correction, and then I would be looking for us to start pushing towards upside again. So we do have this point of control. It's from the previous range, basically back here. Would like for us to stay above it to start pushing towards the upside. We do have a CME gap. CME opens in 5 hours at 67.5-ish that I would like to see filled. As we can see, we did come back, but the CME has not opened yet, so it's not an actual fill, it's just a pullback into that sort of area. So currently what I'm basically looking at is if we do get some, we did have some nice consolidation here, sort of a liquidity sweep. Longs are stacking up here. I would be looking for us to trap the weekend longs, even if we do push up towards the upside here and sort of form this inverse head and shoulders. That's a possibility, but as long as we stay below this A low, I would be looking for us to sweep the 67k sort of area. We do also have a trend line from that we got previously respected back here, respected 3 times, and then we did flip it, test it before we actually broke out. So that's some extra sort of confluence there. And then we do have, from this downtrending channel, we have these volume based nodes. So the point of control that we do need to flip for us to start pushing towards 72, 73 and all time highs again is this sort of 69.8 area. But before that I would like to get into some longs. I did also... It works, yes.
Okay, awesome. How's it going?
It's going great, man. So we do have this sort of inverse head and shoulders that I am looking for, but I do want to see us fail this breakout and push down, sweep the weekend lows before actually start pushing up again towards the 69, 72k sort of areas. We do have an extremely volatile week coming in, so let's see what happens, but that's at least for like the next day and stuff. What more do we have? Yeah, so if we do break below this point of control, this would be the 67 sort of area. 60, we can push down towards 66.5, but anything lower than 66.5 I would be looking for us to pull back into this previous high back here at 64. Okay, and if we do look on the macro scale, I'm gonna zoom out a bit here. So in the 12 hour we did break out of this trend line, downtrend that we did have going on, consolidation, whatever you want to call it. Daily has not closed below it yet, but so that's kind of what I'm looking at. Also, why we would push up today is to close above this sort of trend line. It's at like 68.8, and then come back down tomorrow and sweep the weekend low and push up towards the upside. and still close the daily candle above 68 again and start pushing towards 73, 74, 75. If we were to break, we do have this sort of trend line that we do follow right now. If we were to break down below it, we do have our volume nodes here as well, which would be closer to 63 as sort of an area to watch. Would prefer for us not to break there and just bounce off our own value area high here at 67.5. But a weekend low would not surprise me at all. If we were to look at ETH, we had the same chart from last week. We did push down, tested the trend line. Again, would like for us to take out this trend line. Aussie likes to see it as well. Basically, we come wick below, maybe even close a candle on the 4-hour time frame below it, and then come back up, close above, reclaim, and then start pushing towards the upside. As long as we stay above this sort of 2381 area, I think we should be pushing towards the upside. Uptrend is still intact, so I don't see any reasons for us to actually start pushing down just yet. Even if we do get the Kamala wins, I think it's just gonna be like a lower time frame, maybe push towards the downside or push towards the upside depending on what happens before. We did have this USDT dominance, had a bullish harmonic, came up, tested 545, dumped. That we did sort of watch. We came back, we swept previous lows back at 5. We had a 12-hour bearish fair value gap that we did just break through, as well as a daily one. But we are again retesting our sort of uptrend that we did have previously on it, the daily time frame. More so a bear flag. Want to see this get respected here and start pushing towards the downside again. And hopefully not in a cup and handle type of way, but just more so actually a break of structure. Then if we were to get a cup and handle, we would bounce here. I would like to see a failure of the highs again. So this 545, 547 range, I would like to see us reject and start pushing towards the downside again. If we were to reclaim this, crypto would expect a major pullback, as we could push up towards 588, even up towards the 6 range. But as of right now, not looking for it. But always gotta consider.
The chart we're looking at right now is the USDT dominance?
Yeah, USDT dominance.
Okay. Okay, so we want to see that go down?
Yeah. It's the opposite. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Then we have the CME that I did talk about earlier. We have the CME gap at 67.5. We did close our Friday at 69.6. So we could leave a bit of a gap there unless we start pushing up right now into it, close around this sort of 69 area, and then start pushing down and fill the CME gap. Or if we're just to open in the 68.7 range, fill the 68, 67 gap, and then push up to fill the 69 gap. That would be bullish. We would start looking for continuation as we are still in uptrend. As long as these lows are not broken, the 65 lows, we should be consider higher highs, higher lows. Then I did have some alts I was looking at. We did have sort of Solana. We are inside of a 12-hour fair value gap still. We are holding above it. We have not closed below it yet. We are seeing some weakness though. Right now it's just consolidating. We swept our lows from Saturday, last Saturday, at 158, and I would not be surprised either to see us come back and retest this sort of trend line at 155. Would like to see us hold above this 150 area for us to start pushing towards the upside again. See this 177 range. Do we respect it? Do we disrespect it? Then we can push up to 193, possibly even 200. As of right now, there's nothing really to trade here. Unless we do get a breakout towards the upside with some volume supporting it. Possibly a retest and then push towards the upside again towards the 177 area.
Hey, I had a question.
Yeah.
So are you looking to potentially, like, I don't know, like maybe long Solana if it goes back to that trend line?
Yeah.
Like that one. Okay.
Yeah, so the 150, 155 area is where I would like to start DCAing into a Solana long.
Okay, smart. Yeah, that's what I was looking to do too. I just didn't know when, because it looks dropped significantly in the last week, but
yeah, for sure. And then we did have AVAX. I did know someone requested this earlier in chat. So it's like, again, AVAX is still extremely bullish. If you look on the 12 hour or daily, whatever, we did have these sort of lower highs, but back here we did start creating some higher lows. We are sitting inside of a daily fair value gap right now, holding above it. We do have this sort of market structure shift right here. After the market structure, we started consolidating. I would consider this a bull flag. I would suspect we start pushing towards the upside again. So I think this is a good spot buy, even right here. Same as I did buy some CAS and Fetch. I will be going through those as well. So yeah, just holding above this daily fair value gap as long as it holds. That's like the bottom mark is 22. As long as it holds, I think we start pushing towards the upside. And there's some good upside potential here. Up towards this, first of all, these 35 regions. 32 to 35 is sort of where you did break down the first time from this sort of head and shoulders. So that would be your first watch point to see if we reject or if we start consolidating above around it and then start breaking towards the upside. So that's that. Sui, I'm still waiting. I do have a Sui bag, of course. I've been bullish on Sui for a long time. Nothing I'm looking to DCA right here at least. If we were to come down towards the 1.6, even 1.4 preferably, that's where I would maybe look to DCA again. But right now I'm just happy holding my bag that I do have on Sui. Then I would like to look at Fetch. This I also did buy today. So we have our value area low from our previous breakup, pulled back. We had a break of this trend line that we have this sort of downtrend that we did have for a while. I think AI coins in general are oversold. We have this daily demand zone, daily low that we had created right here. I'm looking to DCA into this once back area, all the way down towards this 0.87 at the 786 of this entire move up. If you were to look at swing trade, this invalidation would be below this sort of 0.77, 0.76 area. Would be a break of trend and just from most likely just gonna revisit this 0.53 or possibly even lower if that's the case. But some good upside potential there as well. So like a 3x back to the highs again. And then I did call I did send the chart there as well. So we have a bullish harmonic. It's not perfect. but it's still a good bullish harmonic. A previously respected support demand area. Steppers have been buying in here. Buyers have been stepping in here many times before. So I'm looking to DCA this all the way down towards this 0093 area. If you were to look to swing trade this, your stop loss would be below this, as that would be like a break of this range, and that would most likely lead to us pushing even lower. But I think the reward is there, about the 2x back to the highs. We are currently at value area low, so that's still one of our higher sort of volume nodes. Yeah, so we did have an earlier AVAX long. So I'm not in any AVAX leverage trades, but I am looking to buy spot. As spot is higher time frame and it's lower risk, of course. With some good, even if you just swing trade this, you could do this on the lower leverage as well. Take this 22, 23 bucks entry, swing this towards the 35. If you were to look at it from just this perspective, we should be getting a push if we do break out, of course. As long as we don't break down, should get a push towards this 35 area. But again, this would be low leverage, as you would have to have a stop loss at around 7 to 8%. Don't want to go any higher leverage there. Or if you would like to just wait for Bitcoin to do its thing. I've been staying pretty sidelined right now for the past few days, just because of the news and stuff coming up. So I'm just trading meme coins on the lower time frames, scalping those. But would like to see this weekend low sweep. I went along there towards 70k, 69.8. Break above that, targeting 72k. And that would just be a continuation of the trend. So that's what I'm currently watching. If we do flip this A point, might be worth a shot if we pull up to the 69.7 to try a long at this 68.9. But first you do need that sort of reclaim of that structure. Yes, if Bitcoin does drop, AVAX will drop as well. All alts will drop. Especially with Bitcoin dominance being so high. We have Bitcoin dominance and in the 60 range. I'm looking for dominance to sort of top out right here. Maybe see some sideways momentum next week. We do have this US stuff coming up, so if that's the top, would not surprise me if money starts flowing into some alts, some memes, and so on. But I think the risk to reward on DCAing alts right now is worth it. Or just swing trading. I'm personally also swing trading, like Fetch, CAS, AVAX. I have swing trade bags on all of them that I would be taking aggressive profits at like 50%, 75%, and 100%. So like 2x. Just securing USD all through the way. Maybe rotating into Bitcoin again. And so on. I can go through some data as well. So over the last 24 hours, we did have more longs than shorts. No, shorts than longs, I mean. It's about 52 to 48. We usually see a move to make this sort of equal to back to the 50-50s. So a push towards the upside would make sense to stop out some shorts, make this even about 50-50. The volume will increase because it's weekend volume, so that's something to be aware of. Overall, if we look at some heat maps as well, 24-hour heat map, we should be pushing towards the upside here again. 69.2, so around that CME close. But if we're to zoom out on the weekly time frame, we should be seeing, yes, we do have a bunch of liquidity down towards 66, but still a lot up towards 72 to 75. I don't personally think we do hit 64 right now, at least. So that's that, but there is always a possibility of us breaking down, of course, especially on such a high volatile week that we will have coming up with big wicks and stuff like that. So you got to be careful, especially with the leverage, as you can get extremely hunted. I would be looking at some memes right now also. So these are the few ones I'm watching. It's bro, weaker than most coins right now, but still sort of bull flag. I do know green did cut it. I currently not in it either. Just watching. We have ME, lower cap coin. It's I think it's with 2-3 million. Those have great sort of stats on holders, about 1k holders. It's slowly increasing. Price has been holding up extremely well even during these Bitcoin dips. So I'm currently watching that as well. I am in Aura. Has sort of the best holder count with inquiries over the last 7 days. So that's great. 13 million stop loss there for me. Looking for this to push up towards 20 million and sort of 30 million range. That's the top of that range at least. But would like to see this hold this 15 million region. Alpha as well, I am holding. It's a Sigma slash Giga beta, so it's gonna lack a bit of volume. But it has some good holder count as well. Pretty much just nothing over the past few days or the weekend. But that's something that's only at 3 million market cap, so I could see it push up towards this 8 to 10 million sort of region if market allows. Loose, I know Green was watching this. I'm still hesitant to buy, it's still in the weaker sort of area. So I'm currently just watching it, see if we can get the breakdown that's actually sustainable. Maybe even some sideways accumulation before breaking up towards upside. And then we have the crazy peanut from the last few days, forming a nice sort of bottom range here. Forming a nice sort of U shape. Nice little U shape here. That you could look to swing from this sort of 70 to 120 area for like a 30 to 50% scalp. So that's pretty much what I am currently watching. Any questions?
Just to confirm, you were saying that you were looking to maybe start, like now would be a pretty good risk to reward for AVAX, and then for Solana, you said you wanted a little bit lower to start DCAing into it, like
yeah.
if you were gonna like swing trade it.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Thank you. Those are the two I was looking at, so I just didn't have. I'm not best at TA, so I don't really know where it's gonna go.
All good, man. But yeah, that's sort of all I am currently looking at. I can look at the USD also. Had this very sharp trend line from last week. We did break below it. Looks like we are coming back up to retest it. Would like to see a breakdown. But then of course we have all this stuff coming up next week. Could see a reclaim, and then you would look to push up towards most likely this 106 to 1065 area. For crypto, we would prefer us to break down, but we have yet to actually respect this sort of break towards the downside. Well, thank you guys for listening.